Good morning. We are in Canyonlands this morning, the Maze District. I've been to Island and the Sky and the Needles, but I've been wanting to hit up the Maze District here for a long time. It's very remote. It's actually considered one of the most remote places left in the United States, the continental United States. So it's pretty cool. Drove out here last night. It's beautiful. This campsite's really cool. I'm gonna spend the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, really exploring this area. I woke up to this view. Cannot complain. This cool rock thing going on here. Off we go.
So here I'm just climbing back up out of High Spur campsite, which is the campsite I had stayed at the night before. I actually got in well after dark. With it being February, getting dark at like 5 p.m., there wasn't much to do about it. Backtracking back to the main road here, as you'll see, and then heading back to Hands Flat Ranger Station. High Spur is actually north of the ranger station, while everything else really in the park is south of the ranger station. So it's a little bit of an out and back, probably 20-30 minutes each way, but it's worth it, I would say. I just want to stress again, if you're wanting to come out to the Maze District, how remote and desolate it really is. It is, like I said, an hour from pavement just to the ranger station, to the entrance of it, basically. From the ranger station into Dollhouse, for example, the national park estimates 3 to 6 hours of driving. So that's 3 to 6 hours in, 3 to 6 hours out. Just really keep that in mind. A lot of people will hear national park and expect paved roads, or at least well-maintained roads, pit toilets, rangers roaming around for questions, a lot of infrastructure. That is not the case for the Maze District. There's nothing out here. The only civilization of any sort is that ranger station. So if you're going to come out here, just keep that in mind. Bring extra fuel, enough water, enough food, have a plan. If you're comfortable conquering those barriers to entry, though, it's definitely worth it. It's an absolutely beautiful area. Coming up here, I've decided to take a little offshoot out in back spur to go see Cleopatra's Chair and Panorama Point. The ranger actually advised against doing so. He said it would make too long of a day doing this out and back and going clear in the Dollhouse. Honestly, I'm a glutton for punishment sometimes. And when I'm traveling, especially solo like this, 9 times out of 10, I'll choose more seat time to see more things over more time to just hang out at camp. Especially with it being winter, getting dark at like 5 p.m., I already have plenty of camp hangout time. So I decided to just go for it anyways. I'm really glad I did too, because Panorama Point, as you'll see, is breathtaking, is the only word for it. It was definitely worth it. The road out and back's pretty rough. I didn't really pay attention how long it took me, but I would guess an hour or two to go out and back. I can cover quite a bit of ground though. I'm on 39s, really armored. I basically never have to get out and scout things unless it's really gnarly. So if you're in a smaller vehicle, less built, and you have to get out and scout obstacles, you're gonna take more time. Just plan 1 to 3 hours probably to do this spur out and back.
This is Panorama Point campsite. Definitely would recommend. Probably pretty windy up here a lot of the time, but I mean, you can literally, you're just right here overlooking that. Sometimes it's about 11 a.m. here. Panorama Point was really cool, as you've seen. Trying to decide honestly if I want to go out to Cleopatra's chair or not. I guess it depends. I think I'm kind of pressed on time to get out to the Dollhouse, with it being winter. I don't have much daylight. I guess we might as well, so off we go. So I got about a quarter way out to Cleopatra's chair. Decided to turn around. The road's pretty rough. It looks like it's very rarely used. It's pretty rough. And I googled a picture of Cleopatra's chair. It doesn't look. It looks cool. Apparently, it's a climbing attraction for climbers, which I am not. So, yeah, I'm gonna turn around, head back out, so we can start heading out to Dollhouse Camp, since that's gonna take quite a while. Back out of that spur for Cleopatra's chair and Panorama Point. So onward we continue. I'm going to be going down Flint Trail switchbacks to get down into there. We're at the famous Flint Trail now. I'm going to go down the switchbacks. Off we go.
shape our future. We came to feel the new.
Coming up here, I get to turn off to the maze overlook viewpoint. I really wanted to go see it. I kind of stopped here for a minute, debated. Ultimately, I decided I just didn't have the daylight for it. Had it been summertime, I would have, but have to save it for another day when I return to this area. Once you get down here off Flint Trail switchbacks, and the closer you get to Dollhouse especially, just the real isolation and remoteness of this area really starts to sink in. It's like a palpable feeling. I personally love that feeling, but it's also a little unnerving in the back of your head, just how far from other people and from any help you are out here. It would take anyone on a wheeled vehicle the better part of a day to get out to you. That's kind of the part of the allure of places like this to me, though. Just how they absolutely force you to be totally self-reliant and self-sustained on nothing but what you bring. This sign I'm coming up on is the start of the difficult portion of getting into the Dollhouse. This portion is what's rated a 6 on Trails Off-Road and Onyx. I don't think I would agree with a 6. I would probably say a 5. Lockhart Basin, which is across the river from this basically, is a 6. I would say Lockhart's more difficult, Elephant Hill in the Needles District is definitely more difficult than this, and that's also a 6. So yeah, I would probably rate this about a 5. It is still demanding though on your driving skills and vehicle. Just know what you're getting into coming out here. This is not a place you can throw the family into the stock Tacoma or 4Runner, etc., and just bebop on out into the Dollhouse. You will break things, you will damage things, and you'll probably get stranded out in the middle of the desert here. So just know what you're getting into starting from this point on. This is the only part that I'm aware of where I touched any sort of skid plate or rock slider other than my hitch skid plate, but being in a Gladiator, that's nothing new. I'm rivaling the wheelbase of a school bus, so that hitch skid plate puts in some work. It's fighting for its life on a regular basis with me. Other than that though, this is probably the most significant obstacle I can think of. I could have made it up it here without repositioning, but once I started to get some wheel spin, I just decided to back up and try again, because wheel spin always makes me nervous, especially when I'm alone. Just for reference for the size of these obstacles, I'm on 39-inch tires and 3.5-inch lift.
So the wall campsite, if you can see the sign right back there, the wall campsite's right out on there. So this looks out on that. Pretty decent, but man, I don't think it holds a candle to the Panorama Point from earlier. This place is really cool. We got that butte over there, and all those little ones out there, and this big old one, and these guys. Crazy. That's just all canyon. This is apparently affectionately known as the Wall. See how it got its name. Look at these cool little holes in it. So weird. This is apparently known as the Plug. Name? I'm not sure why it's called the Plug. My only guess would be not safe for YouTube. Plug, Chimney Rock. Look at that. This is Chimney Rock. That last one back there was Standing Rock. Pretty cool though. Look at the colors up here. Look at that. Look at those lines.
Coming up on campsite number 1 here, which is probably my favorite. It does have this little entrance obstacle thing here, which would be tricky if you were super long, pulling an overland trailer or something, for example. But once you're in it, it has the most room, I think, out of campsites 1, 2, and 3.
So this is Dollhouse Campsite number 1. This is really cool. This is Dollhouse Campsite number 2. Personally, I think one's cooler, but this is still mind-blowingly cool.
This is the final kind of little climb in the campsite number 3, which is what I had our permit for. Campsite 3's up out of the rocks here. It kind of looks into them, as you can see here, which is why I picked it. I thought it would be cooler to look down on them than be in them. If I were to go back here, though, I would definitely choose 1 or 2 and be inside the rocks. Not only because it's cooler, but it's also a lot more sheltered from the wind, mostly. It's kind of windy up here. Also, campsite number 3 definitely has the least usable flat space out of 1, 2, and 3.
So this is the view basically off campsite 3's front porch or back porch, depending. But those and over here, all that country out in there.
The drive out of the Dollhouse here and then down Poison Springs Canyon the next day will be in a separate video, so if you enjoyed this, go check that one out.